attending as a bridesmaid at my uncle and aunt's wedding, and I promised to make them some place cards, which is why I ordered 60 of these magnetic bottle openers. So it has a magnet on both sides and the actual bottle opener. And since it's made of bamboo, they will be perfect for engraving on my Acmer laser, which has a camera. So in this video, I will tell you a little bit more about these bottle openers, and we will head over to Canva, where I'll show you how to make a design to go with them. And last but not least, we will see how they engrave. Like a lot of other Amazon products, these didn't come in very well packaged. They arrived in this bag, which I opened, but it actually already had a little hole in it. Inside this bag, I had this plastic bag, which I opened, and it had a clear Ziploc bag with the remaining 30 pieces. I haven't looked through them all just yet, but so far they seem to be pretty decent quality and coming in at a price of just around $1 each. This is actually pretty profitable. I will continue to sell these afterwards. I'll most likely be pricing these at around $6 to $12 depending on how many my customers will order. And as far as the small magnet goes, they actually work. So let's head over to Canva and show you how to make a design, or anyway how I am planning on making my design for these. I have already sent my designs to approval from the bride and groom, but I will show you how you can create these designs just using Canva, and also how you can cut out stuff using LightBurn as an additional tool. The flowers here does have a little meaning, so let's head back to Canva and show you why I chose these. So I actually designed the invitations for my uncle and aunt as well. My aunt really loved impatiens and my uncle liked the daisy flowers. So they asked for these two flowers specifically. I am not the biggest fan of how this invitation looked like, but it is exactly how they wanted it. I did remove the details in the invitation. But I promised to reuse these two flowers in all the designs and decor that I am making them for the wedding. So I will just add a new page here, or a blank page, and I will just copy and paste my flowers down here. So copy and paste, and there's both of them. So one thing I could try is to see if I can find similar images to these. The way you do that is by right-clicking and go down to Info. And down here you can see more like this and View Collection. If I try see more like this, you can see that a lot of hand-drawn flowers will show up. I don't necessarily see anything that I want to use in the design I have in mind, but if you see something that you could use, that's perfect. I could also click Info and View Collection, and this will also bring up a few results. But I don't really think I see anything I truly like. So instead I will try and build my own. Let's show you how to build my uncle's version first, and then I can show you how I would make my aunt's flower back in LightBurn. But if you are only using Canva, I'll just zoom in here a little. What I would recommend is that you go to Elements, and if you're doing something round like me, go to Shapes, and I'll just delete this search result. And then you can pick this round shape. If you were going to make a different project with some of these shapes, you could use that as well. But I'll just pick the round, and the color doesn't matter at all, as long as it is round. And it is. So now I can start by moving this to the back. I have to go up here, position and layers, and here I can shift over. So now everything I make now will be on top of this circle. I only want this circle as a guide. But I want some greeneries, I want a ref or something like that. So what you can do is again go to elements and type in greenery and outline. I did make a search before. So now I can choose graphics here and hit see all. And here I will have a lot of different results, and some are actually already conveniently curved, so I can use these if I want. I do recommend that if you are using something in Canva, use it for your physical products as well as your personal use only. Do not sell digital files with elements from Canva unless you did manipulate and alter them really much, so it would be considered your own design, because not all of these graphics do have a commercial license which will allow you to resell them. So be careful, it's just a little side note. But let's say I wanted to use this piece of greenery. I'll just, move my flower out of the way and arrange this a little better. So I could, this is actually maybe too curved. Let's go in and see what else I have. Maybe something like this would be better. I think it would. So let's delete this and try with this one instead. So now I can go in and I can just arrange it. If I click it, I can also duplicate, and I can go up to flip and flip it horizontally, and then I can rotate it using this button. And I can take my little flower here and maybe add it down here somewhere. Whoops. I'll just zoom in a little and I'll rotate it until I think it blends in with my design. So this might not be the most perfect flower for this example, but that's okay. This is only to show you how. So let's duplicate it again and maybe make this one a little larger and rotate this as well. So you can play around with this as much as you want, and you can use so many different graphics. To have my text, I think I will mark everything and maybe rotate it this direction. And if I wanted to add in text to this, I could add a text box and I could type in MiMo as example. I can enlarge it and there you have. So this is just a really quick example. Once I have this, I can go ahead and just delete my circle here, and now I can hit share. If you are on a free plan, you cannot download as an SVG, but you can download as an PNG, and then you can go to an online converter and convert it to SVG or PDF or whatever. You can also save as PDF here. But if you have the paid edition, Pro edition, you can also save as an SVG. So let's just try that. I'll pick current page and hit done, download, and let's see if I go back to my window over here. The nice thing about LightBurn is that if I go to my downloads, I can just drag my SVG over here. So this is actually how it looks. I will just ungroup to get rid of these square boxes around it. And this would be ready to send to my laser. Another thing you could do, if we go back to Canva, is also to use the ref function. So again, I'll actually delete this entire pattern and show you with the other flower. So let's again copy and paste this one. And what you could do now is to go over to your elements, and instead of searching out greenery, you could just search out ref outline, and you get a ton of different results. So let's see if we have something I like. You could use something like this and just add the name into it, and then you wouldn't have any work with it at all. So it's really nice if you have Canva, because you have a lot of options. This is actually the ref that I did use in my other example, so I could show you this. So for this one, I will just take my flower and I'll place it where I think it would look pretty. I will make it a little larger. The most important thing is that your lines are somewhat the same thickness, because then it will be prettier if you engrave it. So I'll duplicate this and I'll maybe just add them in somewhere around here, and then I can have my name here. But I of course don't want these parts to overlap, so I will actually save this or download this as an SVG, and I'll show you how to get rid of everything inside. So again, I will select SVG, current page, and I could choose transparent background. That would leave me without which I just deleted. So let's download and hit back to LightBurn, and now I can go to my download folder and import this one. So let's just move it over here and show you what you do. So first of all, when you are designing, I do like to show the filled version or final version to my customer as a filled design. But when I am designing, I actually prefer to design in a line design. So the easiest way to do this is to go to Window, and here you can shift between filled smooth, which I'm currently in, but I can also choose wireframe smooth. So even though this is set as a fill layer, it will still look like a line layer. And it's a lot easier to design if you are in a line layer or a line view style than it is if you were in a filled. So I want to integrate these flowers into the ref. So first of all, I want to ungroup this design, and hopefully it only ungroup the flowers. And that's great, because now I still have my ref totally intact, which I need. So now I want to make a cut line which can cut through my frame. So I will ungroup this flower and I'll just click the outer edge of it. Then I'll go to offset shapes, and it's up to you how much off and offsets you want, depending how much you want to cut off and have a showing gap between the greenery and the flower. In this case, I might do 0.4, I think would be great. And I will not delete original objects, because then it would delete the line I have over here. So I'll toggle it off, and now I have my cut line. So now I can go in and click my ref here, and I'll just make sure that this is ungrouped. It wasn't. Make sure that your cut line is ungrouped, because otherwise you can't do this. But now I'll click my ref, And I will make sure that it is set to fill, because if it's not set to fill, it will leave these ends open. When it's set to fill, it will automatically close them. So pick your ref, click or hold down Control and click the cut line here, and then you go to Tools and Cut Shapes. You could also use the shortkeys. And now you can see that it cuts these apart from each other. So I will click these inner pieces and just delete them. I will do the same on my bottom part here. So I will ungroup the flower and I'll only choose the outer part. I'll make the same outward offset. Make sure I don't delete original objects. Hit OK. Then I will click the ref and hold down Control, and I still have to ungroup this, I see. You can tell, because when it's not grouped it will look like this. Once it is ungrouped, you can see how it makes these, what do you call them, dotted lines instead. So pick your ref again and the cut line, go to Tools and Cut Shapes. Delete the inner parts, and now my design is actually ready to go. I will just toggle on the fill smooth again so you can see it a little better, and here's the design. If I do have parts that I don't want, I could go in and ungroup, and then I can again and just go in and delete the parts that I don't think looks great in my design, like these, also this one maybe, and this one in the middle. So it's really easy as well. If you don't like these circles I didn't, you can also go in and delete those. And I'm just marking it and using the delete button on my keyboard. And there's one left up here. And that's actually done now. So what you do want to do if you want to engrave it on the magnets like mine is to group your design, and then I would just draw a circle. It's yellow now. I'll make it a T2 layer. A T2 layer is a tool layer which will not do anything besides showing you the instructions or whatever. So I will unlock my aspect ratio and I'll set it to 60 width, 60 height, which is the size of my bottle openers. And now that I have my design, I can just scale it down and I'll place it inside this T2 layer. To make it more easy to add my text, I might even rotate it, maybe like this. And I want to make it just a tiny bit bigger. And it should snap on to the middle, which it does, but it doesn't look great in the middle, so I'll just move it a little down. And now I have a design which I can print on my bottle opener. And again, I can just use the text here, and I can go in and add a name. I'll just make it black instead of the T2 layer. And that's pretty much it. I am waiting for my uncle and aunt to get back to me on which design they want me to use. But as soon as they get back to me, I will show you how to engrave. I probably should have guessed that my aunt and uncle wanted to go with the original design. But all 3 designs are uploaded for free on my website, MiMo Design Laser Files. It is really easy when you have a camera to align these. I will just drag all the finished designs directly on top of my bottle openers, which I already placed in my Acmer P3 laser. I could probably fit more, but I wanted to start with placing 9 at a time, and since the engraving is pretty fast, it's easy to just swap them around and add some more. I did make my design slightly larger than the bottle openers because that way I am sure that they will engrave directly to the edge. Because even with a camera, you can't always be 100% sure that you are exactly on top. Once you have everything in place, it's just a matter of dialing in settings. I am using the 48-watt module for my Acmer, and the settings I used after testing came out as 15,000 in speeds, 70% power, and I am using a 2.5% overscan since the Acmer P3 is a diode laser. The engraving of all 9 will take approximately 25 minutes in total. That's around 3 minutes each, which is a really nice time. So each bottle opener comes out at a work time in total of around approximately 10 minutes. After engraving, I will just clean them off, maybe give them a little sand, and they are ready to go. The reason I am using my 48-watt module and not the 2-in-1 module, which I also have, is that the higher wattage you go, the faster your laser will engrave. Before I go ahead and remove these, which are absolutely stunning, I want to make sure that I'm placing the new blanks on the same positions. Not that I can't align them if I place them differently, but to be able to get your camera working really nice and get a beautiful result like this, I actually went ahead and placed a little test piece. I was trying to figure out how many rows I could do before my camera would be way off. So to be sure, and I'm always better safe than sorry, I made sure that I positioned them in a way so they would all be totally in focus. And they are absolutely stunning. I love how well the Acmer P3 is when it comes to the air assist. I don't really have any cleaning at all. So when you are positioning them, make sure that they are facing the right way with the hardware, which means that they won't have to face like this. And also make sure that you don't overstep the boundaries for where your camera is in perfect alignment. But that's really it, you guys. I will continue with the rest of these. I still have around 50 to make, and I will show you once I'm completely done with everything. These are my finished bottle openers. I have moved back home to Denmark meanwhile finishing this video, but I really love how they turned out. I know my uncle and aunt will be really satisfied about these. As I said, they did go for another design than I originally planned, and you can find all 3 designs for free on my website mimodesignlaserfiles.com. The bottle openers that I used, I dropped my Amazon link, affiliate link below in the description. If you are interested in the Acmer P3, which I use, I do have an affiliate link as well as discount codes for that as well. I will be making a ton more for the wedding. So if you would like to learn how to make other wedding decor,
Please subscribe to my channel and also give this video a like. If you have any ideas on what I should make my uncle and aunt, the wedding is coming up in just a few months, please drop a comment and also let me know what you think about this project and if the design I ended up using is your favorite or if you liked one of the others better. Also, for more freebies, you can sign up for my newsletter on my website and get access to all of them. Join my community group on Facebook if you would like to talk further about these wedding projects or anything else for that matter. My group is called Lace Up with MiMo Design and you are more than welcome to apply. See you next time.